When I first met Emily, it felt like the world had shifted without a sound. There was something about her that pulled you in. A natural charm paired with a bright, curious mind and a smile that made even the gloomiest days feel lighter. Right from the start, we fit together like two matching puzzle pieces. We talked about everything, our hopes, fears, childhood memories, and the kind of life we'd build together someday. After 2 years of dating that felt like growing alongside one another, I got on one knee and asked her to marry me. She said yes, her eyes glowing with happiness. And for while I truly believed I'd found the woman I'd grow old with, but just a few months into our engagement, things began to shift in ways that were hard to name, but too clear to ignore. It began subtly. Her phone buzzed, nonstop, and where she once shared everything with me, she now looked at the screen, laughed softly, then hid it like it carried a secret. At first, I let it go. I trusted her, but a feeling kept clawing at me, that silent churn in my gut whenever I saw her smiling at messages she wouldn't let me see. I didn't want to be jealous, didn't want to be the guy who snoops or accuses, but my instincts wouldn't settle. One evening, while we sat in silence in the living room, I gently asked, "Hey, who keeps texting you so much lately?" She paused for a moment, but in that pause, my heart already knew. Then came her casual answer, "It's just my ex. He messaged recently." I froze. My heart didn't know whether to drop or race. I asked why she was talking to him again, trying to keep calm, though my chest tightened with every word. She shrugged like it was nothing. "We're just friends," she said. "Stop being so insecure." Her tone cut deeper than I expected. Still, I stayed composed. I told her honestly that I wasn't okay with it, especially with how secretive she'd been. That's when she laughed, not kindly, not nervously, but like I was being ridiculous. Then she looked me straight in the eye and said, "You're so easy to replace. If you can't handle it, maybe someone else will." I didn't speak. I couldn't. Something inside me cracked so quietly that she didn't even notice. I just nodded, stood up, and walked out of the room. That night, I slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling, listening to the fridge hum and the heavy silence between us, wondering how love had faded into this coldness. The days that followed felt empty. I stopped planning. I stopped talking about the wedding or the honeymoon. I kept my distance, not out of anger, but out of pure exhaustion. And she didn't come after me. She stayed on her phone, laughing with people I wasn't part of anymore. One morning, I packed a small bag, without a word, and left to stay with a friend. I didn't tell her where I was going. She didn't ask. For 3 weeks, I gave myself space to breathe again. I returned to the gym. I started picking up extra work, not for the paycheck, but to feel useful again. I reached out to old friends I'd lost touch with, friends who reminded me of who I used to be before I got lost trying to please someone else. I didn't message Emily. She never called. That silence spoke louder than any argument ever could. When I finally went back, I wasn't looking for closure. I already had it. She was on the couch when I walked in, phone in hand, eyes wide with shock. "Where were you?" she asked, like the distance hadn't already taken root between us. "Thinking," I said quietly, "and I've decided we're done." For the first time in months, I saw something break in her, her face flushed with panic. She scrambled to explain, to justify, said I was blowing things out, a proportion that she didn't mean what she said. But it was too late. I stood calmly, not because I was angry, but because I'd found strength while I was away. "You said I was easy to replace." I reminded her, so now's your chance to prove it. She didn't stop me as I packed the rest of my things. She didn't cry or chase after me. She just sat there, stunned. And I walked away not because I didn't love her anymore, but because I finally loved myself more. A few weeks later, I heard from mutual friends that her ex had ghosted her again, vanishing like he had before. She began posting vague emotional quotes online, lines about regret, lost love, and not knowing what you had until it's gone. But I didn't feel bitter. I didn't even feel vindicated. I just felt peace. That heartbreak became a turning point. It hurt, yes, but it was needed. It peeled away the fantasy and made me face a truth I had ignored. Love without respect is just decoration. Pretty, but empty. I started dating again, eventually, but with clarity. I set boundaries. I watched for red flags. I didn't accept disrespect, not even in small moments. Looking back now, I'm thankful, not for what happened, but for what I learned. That day, she laughed and called me easy to replace. I didn't lose a partner. I found the courage to reclaim myself. And by walking away, I didn't just leave a toxic love behind. I came home to who I was always meant to be.